Hi, and welcome back to the Living While Leading podcast. If you've been listening for a while, you may have noticed that it's been quiet here. That pause wasn't planned. I didn't sit down and decide to take a break. It happened because I had an accident that left me with a serious injury, and my focus had to shift very quickly to recovery. And I'll be honest, that was hard for me. I had to cancel coaching engagements. I had to step away from workshops I was looking forward to delivering. I had to tell clients no, not because I wanted to, but because my body simply wasn't ready. For someone who has spent years building momentum, staying in motion, and showing up consistently, being forced to slow down was frustrating, but it was also revealing. You can find a full transcript for this episode at livingwhileleading.com/79. You're listening to Living While Leading with your host, Sharon Ehrlich, where I support high-performing professional women to build confidence, take control of their careers and lives, and lead with purpose and impact. That pause gave me something I didn't realize I had been missing. Space to reflect. Space to look back on my years as a corporate leader and compare them to where I am now, running my own business. And as much as my work has evolved, one thing has never changed. I have always been deeply committed to advancing women's progress because I have lived the reality that so many of you are still navigating. When I was early in my career, I didn't fully recognize the value I brought to the organizations I worked for. I worked hard, I delivered, I was reliable, and yet when it came time to talk about my accomplishments, I hesitated. I worried about how I would sound. I didn't want to appear arrogant or make others feel uncomfortable. I thought that if I just kept my head down and did good work, someone would notice. Many of my clients are still carrying this belief. They hesitate to talk about their impact because they have been taught that visibility equals ego. They believe they need more experience, another credential, or just a bit more time before they're ready to raise their hand for something bigger. And at the same time, they're frustrated. They look around and they see colleagues moving into stretch assignments or being tapped for opportunities. Their colleagues are being spoken about positively in rooms that they're not in. Often, those people are not working harder. They're not more capable. They are simply more visible and more strategic. And that creates a painful disconnect. You feel like you're doing everything right, yet nothing is moving you forward. During my recovery, I kept coming back to this pattern over and over again, across industries, across roles, across levels of seniority. So I decided to launch Project Unignorable. Not as a quick fix, not as another productivity solution, but as a community where women can take control of the parts of their careers that they actually can influence, where they can be intentional about how their work is positioned, how their impact is communicated, and how networks are built. Because hard work alone is not enough. It never was. Hard work is a foundation, but it's not a strategy. At some point, you have to decide what you want to be known for. You have to be willing to name your professional identity out loud, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. You have to let people see the full scope of who you are, not just a dependable version that keeps everything running smoothly. Because when you're dependable, here's what often happens. You get more work, not more money, not more promotions, not more recognition. Leaders rely on dependable people because they feel safe. They know the work will get done, and safety, while valuable, rarely leads to advancement. And that's how invisibility starts to take hold. And I don't want that for you. It took me years to recognize what I was doing that was holding me back. And once I made changes, once I started being intentional about how I showed up and how my work was framed, my career moved in a very different direction. And yours can too. But it takes courage. It takes courage to admit that working harder is not the answer. It takes courage to let go of the belief that you are not ready yet. It takes courage to step into an identity that is already yours but has not yet been fully seen. If you're tired of feeling overlooked, if you're tired of questioning whether you're enough, If you're ready to stop waiting for permission and start being strategic about your visibility, I want you to know that you are not alone. If you join Project Unignorable, you're choosing to stop waiting. You get clear on how you want to be known and start showing up that way consistently. You learn how to talk about your work without shrinking it and how to make your impact visible to people who matter. And you're not doing this on your own. You're inside a community of women who will challenge you to follow through, and you have me as your accountability partner, pushing you when it would be easier for you to stay quiet. The structure is intentional because change does not happen by accident. This is about choosing to move into an identity that is seen, heard, and backed. If this resonates, I invite you to consider applying for my upcoming free workshop, Project Unignorable. I'll put the link in the show notes. I'm accepting a limited number of applications because the quality of the experience matters. Thank you for listening. I'm so happy to be back with you. And remember, you're the solution to claiming what's important to you. Thanks for listening today. This is your time. Give yourself permission to reclaim what's important to you and be who you want to be. If you're getting value from this podcast, please subscribe, share it, or write a review. And connect with me on livingwhileleading.com or on LinkedIn. And don't forget to tune in next week.